Yo, welcome back to the No Cut Sports Podcast with your host, Niall Frazier. And today we have some training notes from day 17 of the Philadelphia Eagles training camp. But before we get started, if you could for me, please like, comment, and subscribe to always catch this vibe, man. Y'all already know. So, some things I want to talk about. If you didn't get a chance to watch yesterday's video, I did go live. I don't know how much more often I'll be doing that for the simple fact that that video takes so long to upload. I'm talking about like a day. And I did it off my phone, so maybe that's the reason why. I don't know. But it takes so long for it to get up there. We might have to limit the lives and just keep to the videos. But if y'all like the lives, man, I might try to do a little bit more often, probably for the games and things like that. But we'll see. But I'm just trying to get more consistent with the videos with y'all. We do have or I do have some collabs coming up soon with a couple of people that y'all might know that do podcasts and things like that. So we'll see, man. But me and Mr. Reggie, we gotta get back on the ball with that as well, and get ready for this season. Excuse me. But let's get into what we need to talk about, man. Like I said, day 17 of Philadelphia Eagles training camp, and wasn't a good one, man. We had some notable injuries that we need to talk about. But the first thing I will do is just talk about the injuries that they had going into camp, or going into this training camp for today. As we already know, A.J. Brown is out with a hamstring, Landon Dickerson's knee, Jordan Mailata concussion, Tanner McKee finger, Devontae Smith groin, Tyreek Castro Fields hamstring, Lewis Seen groin, Brandon Johnson groin. So some notable injuries there from some of our star players. Dallas Goedert, who was also limited in practice today, he's out with a groin as well. So those groin injuries can be kind of nasty, man. Similar to those hamstrings, they can linger on a little bit. So just want to make sure, I guess the Eagles are taking, extra precaution with the stars. It said that McKee injured his finger on his throwing hand during Monday's practice and was pulled at the end of those drills, and he won't need surgery. So. But he was not present at practice today, so you have that. And I'm just reading from the notes too. I do apologize, NBC Sports Philadelphia. I didn't get a chance to be live and go through all the tweets and stuff like that, so this is a little bit easier for me. But moving on, man. I'm sorry, where was I at? So in addition to the injury report, we had two notable injuries from some of our key players that we're looking to, keep on this roster or just drafted. So I'll read the first one with safety Andrew Makumba. Suffered an injury to his left leg during one-on-ones going against tight end Nick Muse. Right after the rep, Makumba immediately grabbed the back of his left leg. Excuse me. He tried to tough it out and even got a rep in that tackling drill, but pulled up lame again. Okay. Excuse me for the reading, but after a brief trip to the medical tent, Makumba walked inside with a trainer, and his day was over. The injury comes the day after he got the bulk of the first team reps at safety. It looked like Makumba might have wrapped up the starting position, but this injury could throw a wrench into his plan. They did say that they did have safety Sidney Brown and with Blankenship today, so he got most of the first team reps. And then the next injury was wide receiver Johnny Wilson, who went down in the middle of the field after getting rolled up on by Brett Toth and wasn't putting much weight on his leg as he got help to the sideline. After going to the medical tent, Wilson was carted inside. Wilson has had an impressive second half of training camp and was almost a lock to make the team as the fourth wideout. This could change the 53-man roster projection if Wilson's injury is a significant one. So there goes that. And that's probably another reason why you go out here and you go get John Mechie in a trade, because I know a lot of people made speculations. I've seen rumors. I'll be on Twitter and things like that, but they're talking about A.J. Brown getting packaged up for a trade or Jahan Dotson, which with how you never know. But I honestly do not think we're about to give up on A.J. Brown in the package for a trade or even Dotson. And I said it before, they talked about the chemistry when he first got here last year, you're getting here, was it a week or a few days before the first game? It's no way he can, get deep into that offensive book, offensive game plan, and know what to do. Now, as you saw throughout the season, he was able to build that rapport with Jalen Hurts. We've seen in the playoffs, especially in the Super Bowl, he made some crazy catches. So I don't think the Eagles make that kind of move. I just really think you go out here and you get Mechie because Devontae Smith has a groin injury that can linger on. A.J. Brown has a hamstring injury that can linger on. Now you're down to your best wide receiver being who? What you call it? Dotson. So you got to go get somebody else. Now I'm a big proponent for Cooper, but you got to make the team. Then you got a Nye Smith and Johnny Wilson who are starting to come into themselves. If you've been following me, I've been mentioning them guys really high on a Nye Smith, and then Johnny Wilson. If he can come back from this injury, I think he can be a very, 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 very good weapon for us. He can block, but then also be a deep threat, red zone threat, whatever you want to call it. They have to have depth behind these players but talented depth. They also had a problem today where Jeff Stoutland, offensive line, he had to yank some players out because Lane Johnson's out. Of course, Dickerson's out with his injury, with the surgery and things like that. So we're putting in Brett Toth, who's, and it's no disrespect, but like you're hearing like you're not hearing the best things about these guys, man. And it's like, and I'll read this, and it says without Jordan Mailata and Landon Dickerson, the first team offensive line looked like from left to right: Matt Pryor, Brett Toth, Cam Jurgens, Tyler Steen, Lane Johnson. It says Darian Kennard did take a few reps for Johnson at right tackle, so good to see. But they said, and this is no disrespect. This is no disrespect, but they said Toth was on his behind most of his reps. And like I said, this is the perfect time to be on your behind in practice because you don't want this happening to you in the game. But Jeff Stoutland is, visibly upset. They said, pulling certain players. Who was it? Cameron Williams, I think he said they pulled. He pulled. I gotta find it now. Somebody he pulled, or maybe he replaced him with Cameron Williams. Was it Hinton? Oh man, I do apologize. I want to say, was it Miles Hinton? He took. Might have. No, it wasn't Miles Hinton. No. Sorry, I had two sets of notes up here. I do apologize. This ain't that my fault. Hold on, y'all. Hold up. Oh, here you go, right here. All right. So it says that, excuse me, this is a different set, but it says Toast seemed to have a tough day too. He was back at first team left guard after Darian Kennard played there on Monday. He had a false start and I noticed him on the ground on consecutive plays. It says Miles Hinton got beat badly by the backup edge, and I can't never say my man's first name right. I do apologize. Okashan Mathis, I want to say. It says Stoutland yanked Hinton off the field, moved Lamb to left tackle, and put Cameron Williams in at right tackle. After the play, Hinton then watched the replay of him getting smoked on the big screen. So it says Williams even got first team reps after Lane Johnson set a few plays out, and then he proceeded to get flagged for an illegal formation penalty way off the line of scrimmage. Other plays, I want to say they had. I'm gonna go back to these other notes. I do apologize. I'm going back and forth. Going back and forth. All right. So let's wait. That's not it. Here we go. So getting back into it. Adoree Jackson. All right. I told you, Makumba, he ended up leaving wherever the case may be. And then Sidney Brown was in for him. But moving on, is Adoree Jackson got most of the first team reps with cornerbacks ones today. Cooper DeJean for the second straight day got corner reps in the base package. Later in practice, Jacorian Bennett mixed in with the ones. the corners with the second team were Bennett and Mac McWilliams and not Keele Ringo. And it says it seems like Ringo has been demoted. This is what they've been talking about. If you watch the link up with LB, Simone, and what's my man name? Oh man. What's my brother name? Oh man. I'm gonna get it. Tone. Yeah, Tone DeShields. All right. And if you don't follow them, please go follow them. They also cover the Philadelphia Eagles. But they've been talking about Keele Ringo on there, and we all have been talking about Keele Ringo. When I first started this channel, I was a big proponent for Keele Ringo. I thought he had the body frame, the speed, the athleticism to play that position. But it seems to be that, with them trading away Darius Slay, and then also, what's my man name? Isaiah Rodgers, getting rid of him. I won't say getting rid because that's not the proper way to say that, but letting him go get the bag with the Vikings. The keys were given to Keele Ringo, to the Bentley, whatever y'all want to call it, the Rolls Royce, and he ain't driving that joint, man. My man's stalling out. Like I don't know how else to put it. And I have to be critical because we want to go win a Super Bowl. You cannot be liable on one side of the field because they're going to pick on them. That'll be the game plan for the whole game, man. As long as they keep him in. I think Keele Ringo, and I don't know. Like I don't know if they move on from him because he was, a good special teams player. But it seems like he has been demoted, man. If they had to go out here and go get Ja'Cory and Bennett because you weren't performing to the level that they expected you to be, and then they had Vic Fangio come out, what was that, Monday, and say that he expected, somebody to be a little bit further ahead than the rest of the corners, that's not a good sign for Keele Ringo. And then with so much talent on this team, it do become, well, do you keep a roster spot or can you find somebody else to fill his void? So it's not looking good for Keele Ringo, him going into his third year. So we just got to see, man. But another person I do want to talk about is Jeremiah Trotter, okay, and them linebackers. So it says the day began with Zach Bond next to Jeremiah Trotter and team drills, but Jahad Campbell got a lot of the first team work as well. They said Jeremiah Trotter, though, had a play where I ain't going to say he put Saquon on the ground, but they said he seen the play from the beginning and was able to meet Saquon where the ball was and ended up, making a tackle, whatever you want to call it, because there's practice. But I'm really excited to see what Jeremiah Trotter can do. I had commented on the Philadelphia IG yesterday where he had put up, linebackers, doing their drills, and it just looks like, because of course, Jahad Campbell's a rookie and things like this, so he don't look as clean. But Jeremiah Trotter, bro, even when he came last year? When he came last and they put him in the preseason game, I felt like he was playing a little too fast. Like he knew what was going on, but you get excited, you play a little too fast, whatever the case may be. You miss some things. But from that year to this year, I'm really like, yo, if he can get a chance to get in there, because of course Jahad Campbell and Jeremiah Trotter is going to play, and then Smile Monday's another player as well that's been showing out in camp. But if one of those two guys can play, and especially Jeremiah Trotter, I really do think it's no fall off, bro. It's like Oren Burks when he came in in the playoffs. It's no fall off there. So, and if they get Smile Monday, who's been balling out, if they can get him up to speed, he had a play in preseason. I was like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying? They might have got something here. So shout out to him too, man, because I do like to give the players the props when they are doing what they need to be doing. But I also got to criticize them too when they not doing what they need to be doing. It's still love, but we trying to repeat. So, but it said with AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, the top receivers to start the day were Jahan Dotson, Johnny Wilson, and Darius Cooper. Darius Cooper is a player that I'm very high on. I hope they do not let this man go. All hell might break loose on this podcast, I'm telling you, because you don't find wide receivers like him every day. So, and he looked like he got I don't want to say the AJ build, but he looks like a little AJ Brown, bro. As long as he can stay healthy, because I know, AJ's going through some things like that, but if not Jacorian, if Darius Cooper can stay healthy, bro, oh my God, I'm telling you, the wide receiver core will be crazy for the Philadelphia Eagles. You feel me? So, but back to what we were saying, and it said after Wilson's injury, we saw Nye Smith and even newcomer John Mechie the third get some reps with the ones. It says Mechie wore number 8 with the Texans, and he is now 80 with the Eagles. That number was worn by Paris Campbell last season. All right. In his first practice since the trade from Houston, Mechie caught a couple passes, including a grab on a high pass from McCord on a slant. On the very next play, McCord rifled a ball toward Mechie that Mechie couldn't handle. Later in practice, Mechie was able to get some time with the first team offense and caught a pass from Hurts. It says Mechie also spent some time with their group on punt returns. So seems like they're trying to find a place for my guy on this team. That's an interesting note because he has not returned punts in the NFL and did not at Alabama either. So I don't know, man. I don't because I really want to think that he's here for death. But I don't know, man. You never know how he roasts me. He could be up to something. Who knows? But I do know the Philadelphia Eagles like to see what players can do. I think John Mechie, he was pretty like 4.4 speed, you want to say 4.3, 4.4. So probably I think he can return. And he's agile too. I watched some of his tape, so he might be able to return if that's something that he's looking to do or the team's looking for him to do. But we'll talk more about that when we get more information on it. So it did say that Jalen Hurts threw an interception to Nolan Smith today. On Tuesday. I'm sorry, on Tuesday today after the outside linebacker drifted back in the covers. The play might have been a sack, but Smith looked smooth dropping in, showing off his hands to pull in the pick. Overall, it was a sloppy day for the offense, which could be expected given that it's without some of his key players. The Eagles' first team offense was able to get a couple touchdowns in the red zone portion of practice. The first came on a pass from Hurts to E.J. Jenkins, who I talked about him too because they were talking about getting rid of Dallas Goedert or whatever the case may be. I'm like, I think E.J. Jenkins could, possibly step up to that role. Maybe, if they wanted to start Grant Calcaterra, whatever the case may be. But, I think he can step up and play that role if they do decide even to use him this year. You feel what I'm saying? So, but if Dallas leaves, they'll probably still go out and go get somebody, but they still have Grant, they still have E.J. Jenkins, and he's been making some decent plays. So, but they say he beat Reed Blankenship in coverage and made the catch falling to the ground. The other came on a shovel pass to Grant Calcaterra in a tight red zone. It was fun to see a shovel pass at the NovaCare complex. Andy Reid would approve. That's crazy. But so that's good. That's good to see from Jalen Hurts. As y'all know, he really do like to use the tight end a lot. So prepared, you'll probably see Dallas Goedert. If they use E.J. Jenkins, you'll probably see him too catching some passes. So late in practice, Will Shipley caught a pass from Jalen Hurts on his fourth straight play. While Shipley is still improving in areas of his game, he is clearly very good at catching passes out of the backfield, and that should be in his role for 2025. He could be the guy in 2-minute drills, sort of low-key Kenny Gainwell, sort of like how Kenny Gainwell was last year for us. So, but Will Shipley also had a notable miss today as well. A notable missed block in practice today, which would have led to a sack for Jalen Hurts. So I understand what they're saying with the notes, and that's any player, man. They just got to make sure they clean up the small little things. Just be in the moment and understand where they're at that time. So, yeah. But I'm real high on Will Shipley, man. I was real high on him coming out of college. I think my man, he still got to work on that breakaway speed because I did see the preseason game and that first one he had. And my man do get a little paced out. So if he can get that breakaway speed together, he be, you know what I'm saying? He be up there. So but Jalen Carter, shout out to my man, batted down a pass from Jalen Hurts at the line of scrimmage on Tuesday, and then did the the Kimbe Mutombo finger wag in Hurts' direction. This has become a big part of Carter's game after not registering a single batted pass in his rookie season. Carter had 6 in 2024, and he gets double teamed more and more. Carter still finds a way to make an impact. Some notes from watching the one-on-ones we got here. Okay. Jahan Dotson ran a stutter and go to get just enough separation on Quinyon Mitchell to make a grab down the left side. On the first team rep against each other, Nick Muse used his body to make a grab in front of Andrew Makuba. On their second, Makuba tweaked his hamstring, and that's when he left practice. Giles Jackson made an acrobatic catch on a deep ball with A.J. Woods in coverage. Woods had great coverage, and the ball popped up in the air, but Jackson showed off impressive concentration to get it off the bobble. Nia Smith was able to shake Cooper DeJean in the middle of the field. Smith is good in these one-on-ones when he has a two-way go. A little bit later, DeJean stuck with Cooper, on a tight area route for a PBU. Terrence Marshall Jr. caught a deep ball by Mac McWilliams. On Mac McWilliams. E.J. Jenkins leaped over Andre Sand for an impressive catch on a 50-50 ball. Jacorian Bennett broke up a pass to John Mechie, two guys who weren't even here a few weeks ago. The Eagles did a very, very specific situational work in this practice. In the 4-minute drill, the Eagles offense was up 3 points and needed to get a first down to move the chains and win the game, and they couldn't. They were ruled short after 3 straight Saquon runs. The second team offense got a first down with Elijah Cook's caught pass in front of Keele Ringo to move the chains. The Eagles' first team offense also worked on a situation with 35 seconds left in the game, no timeouts, down 2 points from the 50-yard line. After a quick pass to Grant Calcaterra, Jalen Hurts ran to the line for a spike. Eventually, the Eagles faced a fourth down and Hurts scrambled to the first. But after another spike, the next play was an incompletion, and we never got to see Jake Elliott attempt a field goal. So that don't sound too good, man. And I know they want to rely on this run man, but I know, and this is no disrespect to Hurts, but you also got to remember this too. You can't, like I just said, you're not always going to have AJ and Smitty out there. I do want to see, when Hurts, and the first team is in there, I want to hear, throw a pass, bro. You know what I'm saying? But if it's there, if it's not there, then yeah, don't throw the pass. But I do want to see, him incorporating, more of the younger wide receivers too, because you can't just think every Sunday we going out there with our starters. And allergies is bothering me if you see my nose and hear the little noise about my throat pause. But you can't think that you're gonna go out there and have. And I know he knows this, but I would like to hear a little bit more of the wide receivers. And that can be a combination of what Kevin Patullo's calling, because these are situational battles. You feel what I'm saying? And it shouldn't be to the point where Jake Elliott don't even get a chance to attempt a field goal. And like I said, it's just practice, new offensive coordinator, new offense, new tweaks in the offense, whatever you want to call it. But do want to make sure that this offense is still up to par, man, because we got the talent. We just got to execute. So, but let's move on, man. It says Jeremiah Trotter picked up a coverage sack against Jalen Hurts in the red zone. It was a long developing play, but Trotter eventually made the play. He also had a nice play on a swing pass to Saquon Barkley, which I talked about earlier. Jelix Hunt was beating Matt Pryor, filling in for Jordan Mailata at left tackle with ease. He had at least one sack and a few pressures. Hunt also looked comfortable dropping into coverage to break up a pass to Nick Muse from Colin McCord. So it seems like, I don't know, man. I know they didn't play a lot in base last year, but it seemed like that might be something we are definitely going to see a lot more of, if I want to say, or mixing a lot more, for the simple fact that you got to think, and I talked about this before with the addition of Campbell, and then Jelix Hunt was the project player for Vic Fangio last year, and y'all see what he's doing. Jelix Hunt was a player that played safety and converted to the linebacker position on the edge, whatever you want to call it, and it's been dominant. Like, he's been very good stepping in. So, and then Nolan Smith too as well, who didn't do it too much in college, but he did do it somewhat. Maybe not to the level of maybe a Jahad Campbell, whatever the case may be. I don't know for sure, but now he can do it. So now with playing in base, that's kind of the job of the linebackers. You know, they got to drop into cover sometimes if they're not, if they don't have the nickel on the field. So getting them types of players, you know what I'm saying? And Jahad Campbell and Zach Bond, they both can drop into covers and rush the edge. So I really do feel like if they can get this defense together, man, I'm telling y'all, man, this might be even scarier than what we seen last year because you still got Jalen Carter up front. He's going to command a double team. Jordan Davis, you put him in there. You know, Vanilla Gorilla, Moral John, whoever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the combination is. But then with that second level with the linebackers, man, it's going to be a lot of different things that Vic Fangio can do coming off of different sides, man. Because like I said, the guy most of those starters can come off the edge or drop into coverage, one of the two. So it's a lot of things that he's going to be able to do with that defense, man. So it's good to see. So, but like I said, let's move on. My fault. I do apologize. Got off on a little tangent. But Miles Hinton was beaten badly by Okashawn Mathis with the second team offense and was pulled from the period. I talked about that. Ben Van Sumeren had a good seal block to spring a run. Mac McWilliams was sent on the blitz and picked up the sack on McCord. Will Shipley was late to diagnose. That was the play I was talking about for Will Shipley that he missed. I thought it was on Jalen Hurts, but I do apologize. Tristan McCullough had an interception in the development period, and Eli Rich nearly had one. So Eli Rich is another player too that ain't been getting a lot of notoriety. He's been on this team for some years now, and I know he definitely could probably go play somewhere else. I don't know, maybe as a starter, but if he wanted to get maybe like back up behind somebody, not be so far down the depth chart like he is with us. But he probably could be. I haven't heard anything, but Vic said he could possibly be in contention for that cornerback 2 spot. Ain't heard too much. He ain't been getting like the first team reps yet. So, but I just want to make sure though, with reading all these notes, and I do apologize, but with reading all these notes and things like that, the biggest thing that comes to me now is like I thought safety was cool. Now safety might not be good again because Andrew McCoop injured. We don't know how bad the injury is just yet. I didn't see anything before I got on here. I do hope he can come back because the preseason game he went off, man. And I like Sidney Brown and things like that, but I haven't seen because this is my thing. Like this is how I look at it. What have you done for me lately, honestly? Like, and it's no disrespect to the players, but that's how the coaches are looking at it. The coaches are looking at what plays are you making? I don't care what you're telling me. What are you doing out there on the field that I can see on tape? And I know I can feel comfortable with putting you out there on Sunday or whatever day we got to play. That's the thing. So it's like I haven't seen Sidney Brown make the plays that Andrew McCoomba did in a period of time in the preseason game. And I have not seen Sidney Brown do that maybe but one time in his career with us. So, and then you also got to remember he's coming back from an injury, but now Andrew McCoomba's injured. So it's like still a toss-up with who's going to be back there. And then you still got Reed. You got my man from LSU, Andre Sam. So there's some other guys back there that could possibly make a run for it. But talent-wise, like I said, as you get further down the depth chart, the talent starts to dwindle a tad bit. So just got to know that. But then also Mac McWilliams, which was a player, and I was talking about him yesterday, if they feel like they want to move Cooper DeJean to the safety in the base package, there's nothing wrong with that. I know they want to keep him on the field and stuff like that, but who's going to play? Like, do we have the backup for nickel? Can Mac McWilliams play in that nickel position? They also talked about Jacorian Bennett played in the nickel. He said he can play anywhere on the field, but he only did that when he was in college. So with him just getting here to the squad, I don't know if they try and implement him in that nickel position too, because you do need depth back there. Like I said, I love Cooper DeJean. I love when he playing in he wants to play in the nickel. If they do decide to use him at the safety and the base, that's fine too. But if something happens to him, you feel what I'm saying? Because going back and forth, who gonna play that nickel position? Who gonna play that? You feel what I'm saying? So maybe Mac McWilliams to step up, or maybe Jacorian Bennett. But it seems like, and I said it yesterday, they think Adoree Jackson might be the cornerback too, starting week 1. So unless something else happens, but Keele Ringo it's not looking good for my man. Adoree Jackson shouldn't be beating him out because I felt like Adoree Jackson was only here to back Keele Ringo up if something was to happen. But now it got flipped. They had to go out here and go get Jacorian Bennett as well, get him in the mix. And then Mac McWilliams is getting into the mix as well, with him being with a fifth, fourth, sixth. I can't remember what round, but it was like a later round pick for Mac McWilliams. So we'll see, man. We will see. We will see. But yeah, man, I don't really have anything else. I did want to tell y'all, if y'all do like what y'all hear, please like, comment, and subscribe, man. I'm trying to make sure I keep these videos coming every day, and they be a tad bit long, so I do apologize. I'll be stumbling over my words, but your boy need a nap, man. I'm tired as I don't know what. So, um, but with that being said, tomorrow is the last practice for training camp. And then we have a preseason game on Friday at 7:30, I want to say. Let me look right quick to see who we playing, because I don't even know if it's home. I don't know who we playing. Let's see. Eagles. So the Eagles play the Jets Friday there at their stadium, and it's at 7:30 p.m. So maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll go live Friday. And y'all want to come up in here, we could talk about some things. Please, if I do go live, please excuse my behavior. I'm gonna try not to, say nothing crazy, but I'm a different person when I watch the Eagles game. Okay, I'll be ready to break something or hurt somebody, but not in that type of way. But you know what I'm talking about. As a man, you get the test be pumping. You think you can run through a wall. So it is what it is, man. But with all that being said, man, I greatly appreciate y'all tuning into the No Cut Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Niall Frazier, and if you like what you heard here today, if you could, before you leave this video, like, comment, and subscribe to always catch this vibe. I should be back on here either tomorrow or Friday. I'll probably be on tomorrow. I might go live depending on what time practice starts. I do have some stuff to do tomorrow, but I think I can go live tomorrow. So look out for that. But like I said, like, comment, and subscribe if you like what you heard here today. I'm your humble host, Niall Frazier, and I'm going to holler at y'all. But before we get up out of here, could you please give me a go birds, baby? I'm going to holler at y'all, man. Y'all be safe.